Hello Year 11, this is a resource to support your Cold War revision. So in front of you, you can see the Cold War exam specification. Just as you have in class, make sure that you identify any red areas. So those are areas that you are really unsure of, and those are going to be the areas that you focus on. Make sure that you know where you're getting your information from. So the options that you have is the CGP revision guide, you've got Seneca, you've got your homework booklet, and you've also, don't forget, got access to the online revision guide, which is your Pearson online guide. So make sure that you can log into that with your school email address. If you have any concerns, please just send me an email and I will see if I can support you. For each section of the Cold War, you will see a diagram like the one in front of you, which shows you the relationship between events. The Cold War paper is all about knowing how events connect to each other, because your style of question is a consequences question, so what happened because of an event, a narrative account looking at how events link together, and an explain the importance of, so thinking about how an event might have changed a situation. So when looking at this diagram, you can see that the arrows link events to each other. So if we have a look at the explosion of the atom bomb, for example, in August 1945, you'll see that in the top, in the middle of your page, you can see that there are two consequences of this. So because of the explosion of the atom bomb in August 1945, we see the arms race from 45 to 57. The other consequence is that Stalin was determined to make the Soviet Union secure. So use these sheets, one for each section, to guide you when you're planning answers to questions, because they will help you to understand how events flow from each other. To support you in making those links, Year 11, we have the resource you can see on your screen, and it's a list of the main events that happened in the Cold War, the key facts about them, whether or not it made relations better or worse, and if that event led to another event directly. So let's choose an event that you can see on the screen in front of you. Let's choose the Truman Doctrine, which is the 1, 2, 3, 4th up from the bottom. So the event is the Truman Doctrine. Your facts: it was announced in March 47. The USA decided that it needed to intervene to contain communism. It stated that the USA had a duty to support free peoples, in other words, peoples who were not communist. Did it make relations better or worse? Well, we can see a sad face there. It made relations worse because it divided Europe based on ideology, based on ideas, and it increased tension. And we can see that the Truman Doctrine directly led to the announcement of Marshall Aid and the creation of Cominform. So if we were going to then use this sheet to plan an answer to a question, if we were asked, explain two consequences of the Truman Doctrine, well, we could say that one of the consequences was that it made relations worse. You could have a consequence that it led to the announcement of Marshall Aid, and it also led to the creation of Cominform. If you were asked a question to explain the importance of the Truman Doctrine for the development of the Cold War, you would say that it was important because it made relations worse and therefore increased tension because it divided Europe based on ideology. And you would then go on to develop that. Now what I would like you to do, using the resources from earlier on in this video, and if you want to, you can print them out, they're on Arbor as well, or there are hard copies of them in the hub. But using those resources and your online Pearson revision guide or your CGP guide, wherever you're going to find your information, I want you to have a go at the questions up on the slide in front of you. So you'll notice that the questions revolve around the same topics, but they are slightly different questions. So if we take the top two, we've got explain 2 consequences of the Truman Doctrine and then explain the importance of the Truman Doctrine for the development of the Cold War. When you're being asked to explain 2 consequences of the Truman Doctrine, you're being asked to explain what happened because of the Truman Doctrine. That's what a consequence is. It can be positive, it can be negative, but a consequence is what happens because of an event. So in this case, what happened because of the Truman Doctrine, and you need to identify 2 factors. Then the question says, explain the importance of the Truman Doctrine for the development of the Cold War. If you're being asked to explain the importance of something, you're being asked in history really to explain why it's changed a situation. So in this case, we've got why has the Truman Doctrine changed the situation, changed the development of the Cold War? What has it done? In that case, you're always going to start your answer with either the Truman Doctrine was important for the development of the Cold War because it worsened relations and increased tension, or the Truman Doctrine was important for the development of the Cold War because it made relations better and decreased tension. So have a go at answering those questions using the resources in this video, the hard copy that you have, your CGP guide, or wherever you're going to get your knowledge from. And then finally for this half term, Year 11, before we come back, as a minimum, have a go at these 3 narrative account questions. So narrative account analysing the events of 1989 to 91, analysing the events in Czechoslovakia from 1968. So you're talking about Dubček, the Prague Spring reforms, and then the Soviet invasion. And then write a narrative account analysing the events between 45 and 47. So really that's looking at Potsdam, then the War of the Words, up to the Truman Doctrine and Marshall Plan. I am quite happy to mark anything that you create when you get back. We've got revision, remember, on the Friday of half term. You're going to go to your class teachers for that. So if you want to bring in anything that you'd like us to mark then, that would be a really good opportunity. Good luck, Year 11. You know where we are. Send us an email if you need anything.